Hello, I'm Michelle Fox from Michelle Fox Beauty, and today we've got all kinds of fun stuff to talk about. But I want to point out right away that I'm using a new way of recording. So I would love your feedback on whether you think that this is better quality, lesser quality, equal to what I typically provide. But what we're going to talk about today is the plethora of skincare products that are available to us. Perhaps we have not heard of the brand or the type of product because it's easier than ever for people to produce um, really anything for the market. I mean, it's easier than ever to become an entrepreneur. So let me give you some scenarios. So when we were on vacation in, where were we? Savannah, Georgia. I'm innocently walking down the street, and to keep it super brief, two very handsome gentlemen just basically kind of pulled me into what looked like an upscale beauty salon. And while one is just fawning over me and complimenting me and like slathering, eye cream, the other one, supposedly goes to the back to get a free gift for me and comes out and, it's some tiny sample or something. But then they've got this other, $400 amazing eye cream that just because it's me and I'm so amazing, they're willing to give it to me for $199 or something. And it's all happening so fast. And I'm like, I don't even know if this is a legitimate salon. Like it could just be a storefront that they threw up, last night. I have no idea. This is happening. Okay. You see things for sale online, like infomercials that you think I've never heard of that brand, but gosh, that sounds amazing. Now that there are there've been Facebook ads for a long time, but more so than ever before, you see things on Facebook Marketplace, and now there's not Instagram, but TikTok. TikTok has shops. Obviously, Amazon. There are shops all over the world that can have their products mass marketed on Amazon. So all of these things are coming at us. They may or may not be legit. Okay. Do you see what I'm saying? And so because they're products that we're not familiar with, they're brands that we are not familiar with, slash companies that we're not familiar with, how do we know when it's a good idea to give them a try? Is it ever a good idea to give them a try? Is there some kind of test that we can give it to see if they are actually quality products or not? Okay, stick with me, and I'm going to tell you kind of an amusing story how my husband paid $100 for this sponge. Okay, anyway, don't tell him I told you. So I had a viewer send me a message and mention a product that he had seen online and said, "Hey, is this legit? I'm thinking about getting it." I so appreciated him asking me that. Made me feel really special. And so, I looked it up, and they've got a beautiful website, and they don't list all of the ingredients in the product, but they do mention the key ingredient, which I just happen to know that it's not actually an ingredient. It's like a group. It's a group of ingredients. So it's not really that specific. So that was kind of a red flag to me. And it doesn't mention where it is manufactured. So that also was a little bit, different. But it did offer free samples, like quite a few of them. I think it was like 2 weeks worth or something. And I thought, well, that gives it a little more clout. So let me look into this. But there was some caveat where you had to give them your credit card, of course, and you got the free samples, and then you were automatically going to be shipped, the next full size, within so many days, unless you canceled. And once, of course, someone that you don't know, that you can't verify, once they have your credit card information, who knows how that's going to turn out? You know what I mean? So I just had kind of a funny feeling. Were there testimonials? Yes, there were lots of testimonials, lots of before and after pictures. But, I hate to tell you, but you can pay people for fake testimonials, and you can most assuredly fake before and after pictures. It's extremely easy to do that, not just with filters, but just with differing light, different amounts of light, different times of day. So I said to my friend, I said, this might be perfectly legitimate, but if I were to invest in something, I would choose something a little more mainstream, something that has a proven track record. And so I put together a list of things to kind of help in the future if someone were to have that same question, like, well, okay, so I come across this really great deal, or my favorite influencer says, hey, I found this, it's amazing. You might not have ever heard of it, but it works for me. I'm not saying that they're not telling the truth, but you need to have some way of knowing, okay, how do I fact check this? How can I protect myself? Because indeed, it is an era of buyer beware. We really have to be on our toes. And, it's not the end of the world if you did buy something and found out after the fact that maybe it's not 100% legit, but we don't want to support companies that are perhaps from a country that we don't want to be giving our resources to. We don't want to be putting ingredients on our skin that are perhaps dangerous for our body. Depending on where it is produced, there could be ingredients that are banned even in our country or in the European Union. We don't want to support child labor. So, there are things to consider. So let's take a look at this little list that I put together for us as a resource. Oh, okay. So like I said, I'm using a new new setup. So okay, hold on. So I want to share my screen, which is where it's right here. I hit that, and then I hit this. All right. And then I hit this. Boom, goes the dynamite. Okay. So hopefully you're seeing what I want you to see. So how do we verify quality? So before purchasing a skincare product from an unknown source, regardless of where you come upon it, be sure to verify that it comes from a legitimate company and is made with quality ingredients. That's really the key of today's discussion is let's find out that the ingredients are actual quality ingredients. What the heck is this stuff made of? And here are a few helpful hints to do that. Number one, just check the ingredient list. And I'll tell you what, if there's no list of ingredients on the packaging, do not buy it. By law, you have to have a list of ingredients on the packaging. So that is a huge red flag right there that it is not USDA, approved, that it is not legit. It is not okay to be selling that in the United States. So you want to check the ingredient list. And just like your food labels, whatever's listed first there's the most of that in that product. So if it says that it has retinol and it's got like 57 ingredients and retinol is the very last thing listed, then it probably has a very tiny amount of retinol, but that might not be a good example because retinol, you don't want it to be super duper strong. What might be a better example? Usually they separate like your active ingredients and your inactive ingredients. So yeah, I'm going to stick with that. But also if it's got ingredients, all the ingredients that you can't pronounce. Now, let me say this. Just because you can't pronounce it doesn't mean that it's a chemical, doesn't mean that it's not natural, because there are long, fancy words for everything. There are long, fancy words for aloe or for lemon extract or, water. You can put all kinds of scientific words in the description that are they do not mean, just because you are not familiar with them or you can't pronounce it, doesn't mean that it's a chemical, okay? However, if you have a list that to look out for, which I do provide that in my blog. This week's blog is about this very topic. If you have a list, like let's say phthalates or sodium lauryl sulfate, that you personally do not want in your products, that's what you're looking for, right? You want to read reviews, but not from that website. Okay, that's a big one. Of course, they're going to have positive reviews that they handpicked, they cherry picked, but just Google it and look for the Better Business Bureau, look for other sites. Yes, pretty much anything under the sun, you're going to have a camp of people that are against it, no matter what. So you have to be savvy. But if when you go out there and you see site after site after site of do not buy this, it's a scam, these people are not legit, stay away. Okay. Request samples. Like when I said that when I first saw the samples, that seemed like a good thing. But my goodness, if they're going to ask for your credit card information or something like that, then no thanks. And inquire about the satisfaction guarantee. Not everyone provides that, and that doesn't necessarily mean they're not legit. But for me, if I'm going to try something that I'm not familiar with and that maybe no person in my life has recommended to me personally, I'm going to insist on a satisfaction guarantee that if I'm not happy with it, that I want my money back. I don't want a store credit. I want my money back, because if the store is not legit, why would I want a credit there? You follow me? Look for an expiration date. If it has active ingredients like sunscreen or benzoyl peroxide or salicylic acid, there has to be an expiration date by law. So if there is not, something's not right. And again, ask where the product was made. So that's those are just some ideas that I have to kind of help you out when you're deciding whether or not you want to make a purchase. Okay, now I got to find my clicker. Hold on. New technology is always a struggle for me. Okay, there we go. I'm good. I froze for a second. So did I freeze for you too? Okay, yeah. So anyway, what do you think about this setup? I'm closer, aren't I? But my skin looks good. It must automatically put like a soft filter on me. So, all right, let's talk about my story. So my husband comes home from Las Vegas, and he, first of all, hands me this sponge, and he says, "I got you something while I was gone." And I said, "Oh, that's nice. A beauty sponge. I can always use that." And he said, "Yeah, I got you something else too. I don't want you to be upset because it really was a good deal." And I thought, oh, here we go. And he said that someone approached him. I don't want to show the brand. I don't want to get in trouble. Someone approached him in the airport, and he was just a really very, what did he say? He said something like he's a really handsome, well-dressed guy who was very adamant, and had him try this and just told him that this is like a $400 treatment that he would allow him to get for only $100, and that he thought that he should bring something home for his wife, blah 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 blah. And so Mike thought it would be a great thing to bring home to me, et cetera, et cetera. So this is something, it's like a big syringe kind of a thing, and you put it in your wrinkles. I haven't used it yet. I'm a little nervous, but never heard of this company. Never, not, the ingredients that it touts are not something that I've seen other companies necessarily talking about at this time, but that doesn't mean doesn't mean that they're not fabulous. I might give it a little more, do a little more research on it. I'm not really worried about putting it on my skin, but it makes me sad. It's just sad that there are charlatans out there, and there definitely are. So of course I said, "Oh my gosh, thank you. That's amazing. What a wonderful deal. I love it." And he said, "And you can, show it on your beauty blog and maybe do like a review." I said, "I will do that." So here we are. God bless them. So that's all I wanted to talk about this week, just short and sweet. That we just have to be on our toes, right? And the whole idea of you get what you pay for, I have mixed thoughts on that, because I think there are lower priced products that really are fantastic products. So it is more than that. But on the other hand, when something is ridiculously cheap, if you get something that you typically pay $50 to $100 for, and you find it at the dollar store, something's probably not right. You know what I'm saying? So you just have to use wisdom. And now that we have the internet, research it, for crying out loud. You've got the time, you got your phone in your hand, so you might as well just take 2 minutes and look it up and see what the consensus is. But again, I can't stress enough that whatever you look up, there's going to be somebody naysaying it. So you have to look past that one, look at a couple more, and see what are most people saying. What is the majority? And also look at where's that person coming from, okay? Is this just like a random person on Reddit, or is this someone like an editor from a glamour magazine? You know what I mean? There's a difference as far as their credibility as well. So those are some things to think about. I love trying new things. I love supporting businesses and entrepreneurs. I'm an entrepreneur. I think it's a wonderful day to be an entrepreneur, but I think that we also just need to be savvy. Okay. So that's it for this week. Short and sweet. I hope you're having a wonderful week. Today is actually my anniversary. It's 32 years. I was going to say 32 wonderful years. Some haven't been so wonderful. I think anybody can say that, right? So thanks so much for watching. If you're catching me on YouTube, I hope that you'll subscribe to Michelle Fox Beauty. And if you are seeing this on Facebook, make sure to follow my page, Michelle Fox Beauty. Imagine that. You will also find me on my blog. My website is a little different, michellefoxonline.com, where I have a blog and lots of other free resources for women over 40 who are looking for ways to look and feel their beautiful best. All right, so I'm going to wrap that up. I appreciate your time, and I'll see you next week.